got something of a time capsule right here. This box has made its way all the way to my garage, courtesy of 1994 manufacturer date on this. This is some new old stock, never used. I've got a lot of history with this brand here, the Supertrapp brand. A lot of you old timers, folks my age and older, probably know about Supertrapp. I have personally seen race-tuned engines on the dyno make 10% more power than they did with a straight-through competitor brand perforated core glass pack style muffler. I am a believer in the Supertrapp disc technology, and it kind of gives me a warm fuzzy. For me, the Supertrapp brand, I heavily associate with my background in air-cooled VW stuff, with buggies, with Baja bugs, with racing Baja Score, vintage desert race cars, and the like. Plus, there's something to be said for the sound that Supertrapps make. It's very unique. To some, it might be kind of off-putting, kind of raspy. To me, it really sounds like a race engine. I'm something of a contrarian. I like to take the path less followed. I will bend over backwards, spend extra money, jump through hoops just to be different, even though I'm sure that empirically there are better exhausts on the market, modern day materials and manufacturing techniques, carbon fiber, titanium, brands like Akrapovich, Remus, and the like, who make beautifully tuned pipes for the 890. I like to be different, so we're gonna do something different here. And that way I have a bike and parts on the bike that no one else does. So let's open this time capsule. Quick little view. This muffler is a Supertrapp Superlight. It was originally intended for a Honda CBR 900RR. Obviously, entirely different bike. I could not get my hands on a universal model of this muffler, but hey, we can TIG weld and do whatever we need to do here to make this work. So let's pop this thing open and see what we got here. This is new old stock. It is brand new. It had to come from eBay. I'm very sad to say that Supertrapp seems to have very quietly closed its doors in the last couple years here. The last time I bought a new Supertrapp product was from Summit Racing for another project. Man, probably like 5 or 6 years ago. So at this point, just crawling eBay is kind of your only bet to get Supertrapp products. So I'm working with what I got here. So let's pop it open. Ooh. Despite the name Superlight, by today's standards, I would not call this a super light muffler. It is all stainless steel, brushed or satin finish. Let's get the main can out of here. Ooh, that's nice. Vintage feels. I like it. So this end is the business end. You can see that's where the discs can be added or subtracted for tunability. Obviously, this heralds from an age of carburetors and tuning your mixture and noise output with the number of discs. Obviously, a modern EFI bike like a KTM 890 is going to be fairly indifferent, especially because this is going to be a slip-on. I'm not doing anything upstream of that that's going to upset the emissions or O2 sensors. So let's set this guy aside. Let's see what else comes in our package. We don't need this. This feels like disc pack. This is a 4-inch disc model. Oh, this is just the tailpipe. Let's have a look at that. It's kind of fun to unwrap brand new vintage exhaust parts, 32 years old at this point. Oh, that's cool. I like how they've built in this kind of reverse, well, it's not reverse, this venturi for the outlet of the exhaust. Normally you'd only see a venturi on the inlet of something that's smoothing airflow, increasing velocity of flow. But because Supertrapp is all about that increase in velocity and following decrease in pressure, that gives you that scavenging effect. that follows the last little bit of performance they could squeeze out before those exhaust gases exit the tailpipe. Depending on the application, you may have received a pack of 8, 12, or 18 discs with a factory tuned Supertrapp. This system only comes with 8. I may have to scare up some more discs, whether that's eBay, or I just pull the desert racing trick of layering some very fine stainless washers in between discs if I find I need more volume or more flow. Looks nice. I didn't expect the end to be polished like that. All my 5-inch Supertrapps that I use on cars have that sort of USFS approved spark arrestor nomenclature stamped into the end cap. Not that I'm concerned about it, but these look beautiful, brand new, fresh 4-inch discs from Supertrapp. I have had my fair share of stainless hardware galling in Supertrapp applications. So when they say use that whole tube of high temp lube, it's just anti-seize, do so, or get your own anti-seize before you apply it to those threads and those bolts. It's really a bummer when you spin the head off of an Allen bolt in your exhaust system in the desert, or prepping for a race or something like that. These can be a real pain. And because the receiving hardware is built into the muffler, I really don't want to be breaking off hardware inside there. All right, anything else? Tiny, tiny little 2-inch by 4-inch square of red Scotch-Brite. Make sure you maintain that satin finish. That's kind of nice. And some stainless button head screws. Those are going to hold this end pipe, tailpipe, whatever you want to call it, onto the muffler. Man, I just can't get over that they built a Venturi into the last little bastion of exhaust gas flow. I think that is just the coolest thing. And if you couldn't tell already, I have something of a mechanical fetish when it comes to exhaust technology. I can't explain it. I've grown up around it. I have family who are professional aerospace grade exhaust designers, manufacturers, and I love exhaust. But hey, I still think that's badass design right there. Last stuff in the box. Let's see. General tuning guide. That's going to be kind of non-applicable for us, given that this is an EFI engine. But let's see what we got. Gotta have stickers. New old stock Supertrapp stickers. Badass. Those are going to probably have to go on the bike somewhere. Just you can't get this stuff anymore. And like I said, I'm just a geek for this brand. Really cool stuff. It's fun to open a time capsule like this. I know that most of you watching this are probably like, man, this is just some esoteric bullshit. But for me, this is pretty cool. This is just the start of this project. Obviously, I'm going to need to hold this up to the bike. I'm going to need to fabricate some probably 2-inch diameter or bigger with a step down little megaphone built in here. Mounting provisions to get this on the bike, but it's going to be some machining involved, probably more to come on this project. Taking the path less followed, especially when it comes to making your machine your own. I think that is paramount to this hobby when it comes to using internal combustion as a form of self-expression. You have to make your machines your own. With that, stay tuned.